Hello and welcome. Today we are doing a pick a card reading to see what guidance the universe has to help you identify that next aligned action, that next step that you can take to call in more money. This is a timeless reading, so anytime you find this video is exactly when you need to hear this message. I always use the cards to channel messages directly from source and the spirit guides, deities, and collective that I work with. So this will be exactly what you need to hear right now. As we dive into this reading together, please remember that you are the creator of your reality. So always take what you need from these readings, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't. Find your own truths, clarity, and alignment in these readings, whatever that looks like for you. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you have found this channel and this video. My name is Taylor Eaton and I am the author of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is one of the decks that I have here for you to pick from today. So a couple quick notes before we dive in. First, we are currently sold out of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, but pre-order is open for our next print run. So if you want to reserve your copy and get it as soon as possible once it starts to ship, the links to pre-order are in the description and in the pinned comment below. I created this deck specifically for use in abundance and money or success readings. So if you want to be able to get the guidance you need at any time to manifest more abundance in your life, then this deck is absolutely for you. I also have an exclusive gift for everyone who pre-orders the deck or who writes a review of the deck if you've already ordered it, and that will be coming out soon, so you are not going to want to miss that, so definitely pre-order if you are being called to the deck. Second quick announcement, if you want support in manifesting the wealth and success you desire, you are absolutely welcome to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. This is the membership that I created and run. It's where I spend most of my time when I'm online. We do monthly challenges to help you master different approaches for manifesting wealth. We also have a book club, an amazing community of like-minded people, exclusive meditations, personalized card pulls, and honestly, so much more in there. And it's all just $25 a month and you can cancel at any time. So come check it out. I would love to get to personally connect with you in there. The link for that is also in the description and pinned comment below. Last, very short announcement here. I do not offer private readings outside of the Wealth Vibe membership, so please do not be scammed by anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me. I will absolutely never message you and ask you to pay me for a reading. That's not my style. So with all of that being said, let's run through our piles so you can pick your deck. We have deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. If you like to choose using crystals, we'll take a quick look at those. For deck number 1, we have Angelite. Make sure I can get it to focus for you. There we go. So this is our Angelite crystal. For deck number 2, we have Pyrite. What that crystal looks like. And for deck number 3, we have Dream Amethyst. So there you have it. We will be incorporating multiple decks into each of the readings, and I will list all of the decks used in these readings in the description below in case you're curious about what any of the other decks are called. You can absolutely watch more than one of the readings if more than one pile is calling to you. That just means that there's guidance for you in each of those readings, but if you do that, please just use your own personal discernment to extract the pieces of guidance that are for you and leave the ones that are not from the different readings. So go ahead and tune into your inner guidance. Pause the video if you need to so that you have as much time as you need to choose which deck or decks you are called to, and then you can click the timestamps in the description below to jump to whichever deck or decks you're called to. I'll see you in your reading. Hello, deck number 1. We're going to dive right into your reading to uncover what guidance the universe has to help you figure out your next aligned action, your next step for manifesting or making money. We're going to be looking at what this aligned action could be, give you some guidance of where to look on that, maybe what you need to do to get clear on what that looks like for you, how to execute on that action. We might look at some timing, preparation, whatever comes up. So we'll move your crystal out of the way and we are going to start shuffling to dive right in here and see what is deck 1's aligned action? Where can they start looking? What is the general action they need to be taking? What's the guidance universe for deck 1? I'm already getting guidance for you to stop waiting on something. It might be permission. It might be stop waiting for, it might be to stop waiting for someone else to tell you you can do something, or also just like, almost the universe like, stop waiting for a sign. You've already got it. This is it. Like, stop waiting. I'm getting really permission coming through, right? So let's see what your cards say. So we pulled the Monarch, we have the Stargazer, and we have the Rogue. Okay, so deck one, I'm already getting some really cool and strong guidance. And it's like I was just saying, the universe is saying, especially with our Monarch card here in this placement, I'm getting that you already know a little bit what the action is, or you've had some idea of something you want to do. So maybe this is investing in something, maybe this is buying something, maybe this is launching an offer or a product in your business. The universe is saying, whatever it is that you've been waiting to do, but you've been waiting because you don't feel like you know enough, or that you don't feel like you're good enough in some way, or you're not enough in some way. I'm not smart enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm not successful enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not... Whatever it is that you think you need to do or become or have happened before you can do the thing, the universe is saying that's BS. It's saying no. That is an excuse that part of you that's scared of things going wrong is using to keep you from doing it. And let's be clear, I talk a lot about the ego, right? Especially when I'm talking about self-sabotage and getting in your own way. And the ego, that part of ourselves, our mind, our inner self, really it's trying to protect us. It's trying to keep us safe. The universe is saying that you're dimming down your power. You're dimming down this regal power, this immense power you have, this capability you have for creating or achieving whatever it is you want around money or career or success. You're dimming all of that down because there's a part of you that's really afraid of what could go wrong. It's afraid of the negative what ifs here with the Rogue card. And like I was saying, as I was shuffling, the universe is saying, you've been getting signs. You've gotten a lot of nudges, a lot of synchronicities, a lot of confirmations up until this point. The universe is saying, stop waiting. Stop waiting for there to be this like big flashing neon sign that says like, do that exact thing and spells it out. The universe is saying no one's going to come and give you the permission you're looking for to take that leap, to take that action that you've already had in your mind or that you've been dreaming of doing but think you aren't qualified or capable of doing yet. The universe is saying no one's going to come and give you, like knock on your door and say, hey, guess what? You should go for it. No one's going to do that because you're supposed to self-appoint yourself through this. This is part of what you're here to learn, or what this chapter of life and this chapter of your finances is here to teach you, is how powerful you are. You're meant to find your power, deck one, through doing whatever it is that you've been putting off doing that you know you really, really want to do. Like your soul's calling for you to do it. So again, the universe is saying, stop looking for signs. Stop looking for someone else to give you permission, or stop looking for there to be this like, like angels singing, light literally coming down from the cloud and a spotlight on you and the voice of God saying, do this thing. Then you're saying you've had all of that in a very less obvious manner, but you've still had all of that already. You've already had the signs. This card is all about looking for signs. And with this placement, you're saying leave behind the excuse of, oh, I need another sign, I need another confirmation, or I need some more literal permission. Unless you're trying to do something that like legally or ethically requires some sort of like certification or training that you don't have. Other than that, the universe is saying, go for it. Like you already are way more qualified than you realize, deck one. You're already way more qualified to do whatever it is you're thinking of doing. So the next aligned action for you, to start with deck one, is to actually start taking action. And the universe is saying it doesn't have to be this major crazy leap, but there needs to be some forward momentum. So your next aligned action, the thing that you're being called to do that's going to lead you closer to the money, the success, the wealth you desire, is going to be whatever it is that you've been dreaming of doing. Maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's launching something in your business, maybe it's applying to that program, maybe it's buying that home or whatever it is, or applying for a new job, switching careers. whatever has been brewing in the back of your head that you're like, that'd be nice, or one day, right? The universe is saying, whatever you've been saying one day about, I'm going to do that one day, I'm going to do that one day. The day is now, says the universe. But the universe is not saying you have to completely overhaul your life overnight and just go all in with no safety net or no plan. That's not what the universe is saying for you, Deck 1. The universe is saying take action, but it can be baby steps. But there needs to be more forward momentum toward what you desire. If you're already taking baby steps, I'm getting that's time to kick it up a notch. Again, it doesn't have to be this insane leap, but you need to be kind of building momentum and exponentially moving closer and closer and more quickly toward what you want and not waiting on other people. So whether you've been waiting to start something, I'm getting something starting, right? Like starting a business, starting a career change, starting a transition, starting a program, starting the house buying process, whatever it is that you've been putting off starting, that's the thing to start now. So that's your aligned actions to start the thing you've been thinking of, the thing that you've been saying, one day I'll do that, and been putting it off and putting it off. If you've already feel like you've been starting, then you're saying start to kick it up a notch. This is a very much, I'm getting this energy of this is a new chapter, a new beginning that you're being invited to step into, but you have to choose to step into it, and you have to be the one who chooses. No one's going to choose it for you. The universe is saying stop waiting for someone to choose your next step for you. Stop waiting for someone to choose you. Deck 1, where are you waiting for someone to choose you in some way, whether it's an actual person or an entity like a college, programs and admissions, mortgage lender, like whatever it is, if there's a company to hire you, right? Like, even at clients in your business, where are you waiting for people to choose you? You have to choose yourself first. Choose that you get to go after this. Choose that you're going to make it happen no matter what. Choose that you'll figure it out as you go. Choose to start moving toward what you want, regardless of whether other people are telling you to go for it or not, regardless of whether you feel like things are actually in place. Like start putting things in place. You were just saying, I'll move with you, but you got to move first. I've been trying to move you and you're maybe not moving, so you need to move. When you do that, you're going to move very quickly. Again, there's that fear of, but what if things go wrong? What if things go wrong? What if I try to apply for that job and I get rejected, and then it can never happen, and now I know, and I wish I would have just not done it and always dreamt of it? Or what if I try to do that thing, I invest the money and it fails? Or what if I try to do that thing and the people around me laugh at me, or I lose my friends because they judge what I'm doing or the business I'm starting? Whatever the fears are of anything going wrong, the universe is saying that's kind of like a thing you might need to do to prepare, right? Is to look at, what are you afraid of doing wrong? What are you afraid of having go wrong? And address that pile one so that you can move forward, so that you can take those baby steps. Because that's the next line action, is to spring into action, start moving forward. It might be that you kind of create a little plan for yourself. You create a plan for, and I talked about this in a recent reading, so if you're coming from that same pile, and I think it was our last reading that went up on this channel, and this is double confirmation for you. And if not, that's fine. This is still guidance for you, Deck 1, which is creating some sort of contingency plan if things go wrong. So then you know what the worst case scenario is, and you know what you would do, and you can spring into action around it. And then from there you can move forward without the fear of what would I do? You know what you'd do if things went wrong. So then you can release obsessing about it and free up that brain space and that energy for actually taking action. But also the universe is saying, this is why you're getting the guidance of do the baby steps. Like take little thing. What's the big overall goal or dream you have, or what that thing you've been thinking of doing, the business you want to start, the thing you want to launch, the program you want to apply for, the whatever it is. What is the thing that you've been dreaming of doing or you've been putting off for one day? And can you just start researching it in the next couple of days? Can you start researching it more? Can you look at what the next steps would be to actually take action? Can you fill out the application even if you don't send it in quite yet? Can you start writing that, proposal letter? What can you start doing? What's the smallest step that actually is taking action toward it? And start do that. And then in a few days or a week, do the next step and the next step and see how it builds. And as you go, you'll find those areas where you're afraid of messing up or having things go wrong or things be uncomfortable. And you'll be able to tackle them because then you can take baby steps toward tackling that thing and tackling that thing. The universe is saying, important for you to know, Deck 1, you don't have to have it all figured out. Stop waiting to have it all figured out. Stop waiting to know how it's going to go. You can't know how it's going to go. You can have some ideas, but there's infinite possibilities in this reality. So stop waiting to know how it's all going to go. Stop waiting to know how you're going to do everything. Have a general plan. Look a couple steps ahead. Maybe have some things on your radar that you'll have to address down the road, but you don't have to know every step, and you can't know every step. Because whatever you do to get you to that next level of abundance, you want to get that money manifested into your life, is going to be something you've never done before. Because if you'd already done it, you'd just be doing it again and having the money come in, right? Like if you want a bigger amount of money than you've ever had before, or you want it to come in a way that it's never come to you before, or feel a certain way when it comes to you than it ever has before, you're going to have to figure out a new way to get to that wealth and to that money, because you're embarking on something you've never done before. So waiting to think, I have a whole plan, I know exactly how this is going to go, I know points A through Z of what I'm going to need to do, that's folly. You can't know that. That's self-sabotage in this situation for you, Deck 1. To try to plan every single possibility out is a waste of your time, and it's keeping you from taking action. So a little less planning, you could still plan, absolutely plan a little bit, but a little more action on your part. So this was a lot already with these 3 cards. I want to pull some more for you. But that aligned action for you, Deck 1, is to take a baby step. Take baby steps each day, each week toward what you want. Start actually moving toward it so that it can actually manifest in your life. Otherwise, it's always going to stay a dream. Stop waiting on other people's permission. Stop waiting on permission from the universe. You already have it. Stop waiting on permission from other people. You'll never have it until you give it to yourself. Stop telling yourself, what if it goes wrong? What if it goes wrong? So what? You figure it out. And what if it goes wrong and repositions you to something even better? The last piece of guidance here before I pull more cards for you, and I'm talking fast because there's so much guidance coming through for you. The universe is saying what's coming through too is that if you're going to play the negative what if game, I tell this to my clients all the time, and to the people in my membership, in the Wealthified membership, but I say, if you're going to play the negative what if game of what if this fails? What if this doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if, and it's all negative what ifs, then it's only fair to yourself to also play the positive what if game. What if this works? What if this works out better than I could have imagined? What if all the money does come in? What if I do get that ROI? What if I do land the job? What if I get offered an even better job? At least as much as you're playing the negative what if game, play the positive what if game. Ideally, play the positive what if game at least a little bit more than you're playing the negative what if game. And that's going to shift your entire reality and move you and propel you forward into those aligned actions, into the money you desire. We have Lava Stone and Red Hot Poker. My body is a safe space, transmuting, breaking down barriers, realizations. We also have Mama Cocoa and Rhodonite, heart opening, heightened sensitivity, unifying, high on love. So again, there's this leaving this fear. I get that there might be some past traumas, past failures around money. If there are, I have a previous video. I'll link that above here for you that I just posted around how to surrender around money, how to trust the money's coming. If that calls to you, you're welcome to check that out. But what I'm getting here, especially with this card, is, like I said, there might be some kind of past trauma, some failures, some wounds, some fears that did come to light in the past around money, or when you did take a big leap, or you took a risk, or you did go after something you want. And the universe is saying that, yeah, that happened, but that doesn't have to be how it's going to happen again. We often, there's that saying of the past always repeats itself. That's not always true. The past repeats itself, Deck 1, if you're being the same version of yourself you were then when that thing happened. Then if you're still being that same version of you, thinking, feeling, and acting that same way, then yeah, the past can repeat itself because you're in that same frequency, you're in that same habit, those same patterns. You're still just in the same reality that you keep creating for yourself over and over. So if you are worried that the past is going to repeat itself and that's why you're waiting for the permission slip, you're waiting for someone to give you the guidance you need or tell you, yeah, you should go for it and it'll totally work out, or to know every single step. The universe is saying that has to go, that belief has to go. There could be some healing to do, but really what I'm getting the most to guide you to look at in order to be able to easily and effectively take this aligned action and start moving toward that thing you're putting off doing that's going to lead to the wealth you desire. The guidance that I'm getting for you is that it's so important for you to consciously remind yourself of why things are going to be different moving forward. Why? Because you're different. How are you different now than you were before? And if you're not, if you don't feel like you're different in your mind, your body, your spirit, your energy, your actions. If you don't feel like you're different than you were before when whatever negative thing happened around money or success in the past, if you don't feel like you're different than you were then, than that version of you, then that's the thing to do in order to be able, I just saw 1111 for you. Beautiful confirmation. That's the thing for you to look at and to start to shift, shifting inwardly, shift your mindset, shift your energy, shift your thoughts, your habits, your actions, your money mindset, shift those things first. So then you can look at yourself and go, I am different now. Now I'll take the actions. Now I'll start, because it has to be different in some way because I'm being different, right? If you need support in shifting that, come join me in the Wealthify membership. Everything we do in there is so incredibly transformative. We address, shifting your mindset, shifting your energy. Our challenges help you shift so many things. Our book club reads help you shift so many things. So come join me there. The link's below. If you are like, I want to truly step into being that next level version of me. I want to truly change to the point where I know my financial reality is going to change so I can move forward confidently. That's there for you if you want that support. But what you're being called to is really heart opening, right? So there could have been some trauma, right? I said in the past, there's some sort of thing that left that wound. And versus saying, heal that, transmute it, look at how you're different now, and then focus on opening your heart, right? These cards are telling me what you need to do to be prepared to take this aligned action, right? You could do it now. You could do it now. But if you're finding it really hard, if you're finding resistance to take the aligned action, heal any past traumas, look at that sort of stuff, start working on that if you need to, but mostly be looking at how am I different now? How do I make sure I'm being different now than I was when this happened? And then start moving, so this is healing, and then moving into this expansion of opening your heart, heightened sensitivity, unifying, high on love, opening up your heart. I'm getting the sense that there's some barriers you've put up probably because of these past wounds or traumas that have kept your heart shut down, especially I'm even getting kept your heart shut down from dreaming, from even fantasizing about those positive what ifs of what's available to you, or even letting yourself go very far with those things, or as far as you could with dreaming big and really feeling how the universe is pouring its love into you so that you can move forward and apply that love to your actions and do big things in this world. So deck one, it's really right now a matter of, if you're finding it difficult to take that aligned action because there is that fear of things going wrong because you've had past things go wrong, then start with the baby steps, but look at how you're different now on all levels so that you can remind yourself that things get to be different because you're different. And open and work on heart opening. I'm also getting even yoga poses, heart opening exercises can be really good. Maybe doing work with your heart chakra, maybe tapping for, receiving love and receiving the abundance of love of the universe, right? Receiving love around you and transmuting that into bravery, courage, action, so that you can move forward feeling like you have I'm getting this surge of loving energy behind you, pushing you forward. Open yourself up to that. Okay, I want to pull some cards for you for timing. And for once you take this aligned action, when's the money going to start coming in? How long? What's that lag time? How long is the action going to take for you to complete maybe? And I was going to pull from our other deck I had, our deck 3, but I feel like pulling some tarot cards for you. So we're going to pull from our tarot, and we're going to have 7 of Pentacles, which is also just really fantastic to see a Pentacles card come up for this, right? And such a positive one. And we also have our Page of Cups, which is reversed. All right, so the timing I'm getting for you is that as long as you do not ignore the healing work that you've been guided here, you do not ignore making sure that you are different than you were before and knowing how you're different than you were before and healing anything that's preventing you from really feeling like you're different than you were before whenever any negative things around money happened in the past. As long as you don't rush through that or you don't ignore that and you just look at whatever needs to be looked at there, deck 1, as long as you do that, then you can expect more of that abundance that you're desiring to start pouring in within. It could be 7 weeks for some of you. Within 7 weeks, you could start to see it trickling in. Definitely within 7 months, right? With our 7 of Pentacles. I'm also getting, especially with this, we have, long-term investments with our 7 of Pentacles. And this patience, this hard work with it, success in waiting, right? Really exciting, such amazing energy with the 7 of Pentacles. But I get the sense that what you are embarking on, what this aligned action is leading you towards this long-term sustained wealth, which is fantastic. I know a lot of times we want like a lotto win, or we want the money to just drop in our lap in this lump sum all at once. But realistically, when that happens, oftentimes unless we've been doing the inner work, we're not really calibrated to being able to hold that money without self-sabotaging, without spending it all, without, kind of manifesting some of it going out in a way we don't really want. It's hard when the money comes in all at once. We think we want it, and in some cases we can hold it, but often for most of us, it's really, really hard to have like this thing that seems like this stroke of amazing luck, and the money comes in, and then you're just all of a sudden like a multimillionaire overnight when you were, like barely making it by before. Like, of course, that feels good sometimes to think about, but when actually you think about it, it's like, would you really be able to hold it without overspending it or freaking out, or even the kind of nagging inner story of, if you got everything you wanted at once, would you feel like you could do it again if you needed or wanted to? And that's something we don't often think about. And I can tell you, I've come up against this myself in my business. I've seen so many entrepreneurs up against this in business, when all of a sudden your business takes off overnight and you're 10 times in your income, which happened to me, which was fantastic. But there was this fear of, oh my God, how do I make it happen again? How do I make that much next month again? And that fear pulled me out of it, right? We had, like, before my income stabilized at a higher level, I had some ups and downs because you have to calibrate to that, right? And so the universe is saying you might think you want to quantum leap into the wealth you desire, but what's actually going to be more beneficial is to have some patience with this, to take the aligned action, and don't expect an overnight success. You might see within, like I said, but I'm getting within 7 weeks, you'll start to see some results of it. You'll start to see some signs and some money trickling in, or maybe you get the job, or you get the thing launched, or you get an investor or something like you'll start to see some little things come in, but the real payoff is coming like 6 months later, or 7 months later, excuse me. And it's coming, and then it's going to just build and build and build from there, as long as you're doing that healing work along the way, right? And not neglecting that. So really making sure you're continually up-leveling your mindset, your inner world, your energy, your frequency around money is really going to be powerful for you, because it's going to help you sustain this long-term success that you're going to build through whatever it is. These little baby steps you're taking now are going to just, like I said earlier, be exponential and build up to exponential returns and payoff and ongoing harvest and profit of the seeds you're going to sow now. So don't be impatient, the universe is saying. The universe is going to give you signs relatively quickly. 7 weeks is not that long to wait, honestly, if you're venturing into something new, or a new level of commitment and dedication and determination of something. It's not that long to wait in the grand scheme of things. I know we want things now, but we're often not ready for them. So make sure you are patient and keep going, and knowing that as long as you are tuning into what feels right to you and honoring that, and just going a little bit forward each day, each week toward what you want, you're going to get there. It's going to be, I see like so much success, so much abundance for you. You're going to really feel very grounded in it, because you're going to know exactly how you did it. You're going to know exactly how you did it, Deck 1, because you're going to be so intentional with taking these little baby steps, breaking it down, and being conscious about what you're doing. So that's really valuable. Again, if you want support in calibrating to new levels of wealth, so that money can come in quicker and quicker, and you can build this up in a gradual yet sustainable and exponentially growing way. Again, the Wealth Vibe membership right now, if you're watching this as this airs, we have a challenge we're doing right now to prepare to quantum leap into wealth, and then we're doing a challenge next month in April of 2024 to help you actually quantum leap, but do it in this sustainable way where you can hold the wealth as it comes in and let it keep growing, which is definitely what's in the cards for you. So this is really, really exciting to see. I'm so glad this card came up. I'm so glad I was pulled to that deck. But it's just with the caveat, right? Like, the abundance you want, the payoff, it's going to start, the harvest, the bloom is really going to start coming in about 7 months for you after starting to take actions and consistently moving toward them. But you have to just not neglect the healing. And one more note before we wrap up here that the universe is giving me for you. The healing work is not something you do once and then it stops. Especially if you have some sort of really deeper trauma or wounds around money. This is stuff that you'll keep revisiting on deeper levels and deeper levels and deeper levels, and that'll open up more and more and more and more levels of abundance for you. But it's not something you just do once and forget about it. So continue to revisit you're just reminding yourself of, here's how I'm different than I was before, and here's how I'm choosing to become different even from how I am now, to keep moving into more and more wealth until you have the wealth you desire, right? So keep revisiting that and keep looking at the parts of you. Again, inner child healing, if that's something that you are called to, that you have a modality for, something like that, like go for that. But doing things that will really, heal the parts of you that are keeping your heart closed off. As long as you're doing that, you'll keep moving forward. You'll be able to take the next action, the next action, the next action. But if you don't do that, the 7 months means nothing. That won't happen then, right? So make sure you're doing that again. Continually up-leveling your mindset, your energy is what we do in the Wealth Vibe. That's why I created that space, was to have a space for you to continually up-level and grow with it as you grow. So yeah, but really, really exciting, beautiful reading for you. Deck 1, there's so much. I always love, like, it's, of course, it's exciting when I go, oh, I see you're going to win the lotto. You're going to have a windfall of money. That's always very exciting, and people love that. But what excites me more, after I'm coming up on 6 years of doing this work with money mindset and manifestation and magic with people professionally in my business. And so in 6 years almost of doing this work, what excites me the most is when I see steady, consistent, stable growth for clients of mine. I get less excited by the big flashy, like, I up-leveled, like even my own story, which, let's be honest, it's a selling point. So, and I'm proud of it. And it is something I manifested when I jumped from 2K months to 20K months. And of course, if you can do that and hold that, I want that for you 100%. But I would much rather see you go from, like, if you're making 2K a month to making 3K a month and holding that for a month or two, and then going to 5K a month and holding that for a month or two, and understanding how you're doing it energetically and strategically, right? And this applies to day jobs as well, right? Or whatever it is, or even just manifesting. What's your strategy behind it and what's the energy behind it, right? I would much rather all of you know how you're creating these amazing results and what's driving them energetically, action-wise, mentally. Like, I want you to understand what you're doing so you can continue to create those results for yourself and continue to grow them exponentially. It's like, yeah, of course I want overnight success for everyone, for all my clients, for all of you watching this. Of course I want that, but more than that, I want you to be able to hold whatever success you call in. Because if you can't, then what's the point? What's the point of touching tons of money and then losing it? There's no point in that. And that honestly creates more of this trauma, right? Which makes it harder to get it again in the future. So I would much rather this is the kind of reading I want to see. I think it's a very honest reading, and I also think it's such an optimistic reading. I'm so glad the 7 of Pentacles came up for you. Like, what a beautiful card illustration, regardless. But this is what I want for everyone, right? Is I want you to know how you manifested the money and be confident that you can do it again on a bigger level and a bigger level and a bigger level. And that's what's available for you, Deck 1. So it's really, really exciting. So, all right, that is your reading, Deck 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below, letting me know what you took from this reading. Let me know how it resonated. Let me know what's the big dream? What's the one day I want to do this thing? Share that with me. I want to cheer you on. I want to hold the energy of that being possible for you. So comment below. I love getting to hear your thoughts. They truly mean so much to me. They give me the motivation to keep doing these readings, to keep sharing this all with you. So thank you to those who comment, and I'd love to get to connect with you in the comments below. If you're not already, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance. And if you want to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to all the resources, support, and community you need to take these aligned actions and manifest the wealth you desire, I would love to get to connect with you there. The link for that and the link to pre-order the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are both in the description below. So with all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and aligned actions toward your desired wealth. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, deck number 2. We're going to dive right into your reading to uncover what guidance the universe has to help you figure out your next aligned action, your next step for making money. We're going to be looking at what that aligned action might be, give you a place to really get some clarity on. We're going to get clear on, maybe some timing, maybe some things you need to prepare to be ready to take this action, whatever comes up. So we'll move your crystal out of the way and we're going to dive right in. We're going to start shuffling. And we're going to see what deck 2 needs to hear. What is deck 2's aligned action? What is deck 2's aligned action that they need to take? And at least one more card for you here. One more card for deck 2, please, for what their aligned action is. It's going to be, oh, not quite. This one. There we go. All right, deck 2. What do we have for you? We have Diamond Heart Seed Crystal, Akasha, and we have Crystal Grid. Ooh, okay. This is really beautiful, deck 2. Deck 2, your aligned action is going to be sharing some wisdom that you have that you've been maybe keeping to yourself. Maybe consciously or not that you've been keeping it to yourself, but there's some wisdom you have. I'm getting from some life experience. This could be even past life experience, also just in the past in this life. But you have some wisdom that is ready to be shared, that needs to be shared, other people need to hear, and that you can be massively compensated for. Now, this can look like starting a business, starting something, a new offer in your business. I'm also getting, though, that just within whatever you're doing is finding a way to share more of the wisdom that you have. That's your next aligned action, is looking for and actually starting to share, like looking for opportunities to share the wisdom you have and sharing more of that wisdom. And I'm getting, especially those of you who are employed, starting to share more of the insights those of you have, like speaking up in meetings, having a meeting with your manager or your boss or someone higher up that you can share some, insights you have of how you might improve your team's performance or the company's bottom line or anything like that, or save the money. It's like whatever wisdom you have from your past, the universe wants you to share it. It's saying that's the next line thing, is share that with whoever it feels aligned to share it with. And in doing that, you're going to start to be seen as an authority. People are going to start to see how much wisdom you have. That's going to allow you to get promoted very easily. If you're not traditionally employed, then it could be a matter of, maybe you're starting, if you have a business, starting a podcast or a newsletter or a YouTube channel or something like that, where you can share more of your wisdom with people. So looking for, and there's so many ways, right? And you were saying there could be even more than one way right now from where you are right now that you could be sharing your wisdom more fully with the world. So there's so much guidance coming through. First of all, the universe is saying, share your wisdom, right? The wisdom that you want to share, that is ready to be shared, that people need to hear, that's going to lead to, like I said, promotions, more sales, more audience engagement, which leads to more conversions, more people being confident in you so they want to buy your product or your service or whatever it is, or even in an interview sharing a little bit more of your wisdom. So then people want to hire you, right? Like the wisdom you're looking for. If you aren't already conscious of what wisdom you've been holding back in a way, the universe says, look at, again, you could look at past lives if that's something that you are familiar with. But for most of you, the guidance is really look at your past in this life. Look at, like this says right here, strip back and simplify. Look to your origins. This is, if I can pronounce it right, stromatolite and fern, Akasha. Strip back and simplify. So look back to where in your life, this is interesting. You were saying where in your life, what period of your life or what age or what job, right? What chapter were you in of your life in the past where you felt like you learned the most? And this could be like traditional learning. It could be studying. It could be school. It could be sharing more of your wisdom that you went to school for, like what you learned or loved the most in high school, or what you got, specialized in, or what your degree was in at university. But the universe is saying, this is also most likely, bumping the camera there, sorry. This is also most likely going to be more, soft skills or things, insights you gained from experience. So it could be some traditional learning, but I'm getting more that there's wisdom that you've gained in the past that is wisdom that happened from you doing something. So you being in a certain job or position, or starting that business and maybe you shut it down, but you have insights from it, or a past career, a past industry you worked in. It could also just be like a life experience of, having bought a house and you have all this wisdom about the house buying process or things like that. And maybe it's something that's kind of related to what you do, just an example. So you have some sort of past experience where you learned a lot. So the universe is saying, reflect on what area or chapter of your life do you feel like you just grew so much? The word exponentially is coming up, which is a word that came up a lot in deck 1. I'm not necessarily getting the guidance to guide you to watch that reading unless you feel really called to, but I feel like this is a collective theme we're seeing throughout our readings today, is just the universe is asking for you, It's asking for us all to tap into where we can more exponentially expand, right? And so the universe is saying, look back at where you've already in the past, deck 2, exponentially felt like you exponentially expanded. Where did that happen? What job were you in? What company were you with? What were you going through in your personal life? Like, did you go through this insane, like, roller coaster of dating until you really found the person for you? And what have you learned from that? And you can strip it down to, like, what did you truly learn? You were saying, look back at your period of most immense, intense, exponential growth in your life in the past. And what did you learn from that? And when you really look at the nuts and bolts of it, when you strip it down, not to just like, here's what I learned about dating, but it's like, what did you learn truly beneath it all? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about human nature? What did you learn about the way parts of the world work? What did you learn about, like, really strip it down to, like, the lessons that you have that are almost feel very surface level of, like, oh, well, I learned this thing about the house buying process, or I learned this thing about the legal system, or whatever. Like, what is the deeper lesson under it? This is a really deep piece of guidance for you, but this is really valuable, is look at what wisdom do you have to share that came from your most intense exponential season of growth that you've had in life thus far. What were the surface level lessons that you learned, the obvious things, and beneath those obvious things, what's the deeper lesson, right? So, like, a good example, let me give you a good example. If you, let's say, for instance, that you had a job where it put immense stress on you, and you ended up leaving that job, and this was maybe, let's say, 5 years ago for an example. But you stayed at that job for 2 years before you left. And you, even though you hated it and it was immense pressure, you grew so much. Because maybe you got better at managing your time. Maybe you also got better at, prioritizing things, juggling things, multitasking, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you also actually got in the best shape of your life during that time, despite being so busy. So then you look underneath and you say, okay, that was exponential growth. What did I actually learn? And was it that you actually learned to set really good boundaries with yourself? What were those boundaries? Where did those boundaries come from? Did it come from self-love because you knew you needed more self-love to get through that hard time? Did you maybe learn the importance of asking for help? And how to ask for help in a way that people almost always said yes, because you had to ask for a lot of support from your coworkers, your team, your manager, your loved ones at home to support you through this intense time and help you balance your life. Did you learn the importance of work-life balance? Did you learn how much happier you are when you have a fulfilling social life or a fulfilling hobby, right? Like, I could go on, but do you see how those periods where you had the most immense growth are the periods where you learned the deepest things? Whatever those deep things are, they're begging to be shared with the world now. And doing that, sharing those things, is what's going to lead you to more abundance, whether directly or indirectly, right? In our deck 1 reading, it was much more like a direct path to the abundance. For you, it could be that wherever you are right now, if you start sharing your abundance of knowledge, right, in your current job, you start taking these lessons you learned from a previous job and applying those deeper lessons or sharing them with others, with your coworkers, with your boss at your current job. Whether you do that, that might lead to a direct promotion, right? Or you might start sharing your wisdom, and then one of your coworkers is like, hey, by the way, like, I actually have someone else who actually could really use some help with this. Maybe I can connect you with them, and then maybe that leads to you starting a business with that person, or you starting a side hustle, or, like, it can lead to money either very directly or indirectly for you, is what I'm getting for this aligned action for you to take, deck 2. So there's wisdom for you to share. Look at where to find what that wisdom is that's going to lead you to the abundance you desire. That's that next aligned action. The wisdom that's begging to be shared. Look at where you experienced the most growth in your life in the past, and look at what were the deep lessons I learned from that. What was the overall wisdom I gained from that? How does that relate to where I am now or the people around me now? How can I share that more now? And of course, make sure you enjoy sharing this wisdom. If it's wisdom that you're like, yeah, I learned that, but I do not want to talk about it, that feels terrible, that's not the right wisdom that the universe is asking you to share. Then look at a different period of your life where you had exponential growth and find the lesson there and see if that's the right thing to be sharing with people. So this could be, right, like I said, that it leads directly to more abundance. It also might just lead you indirectly to opportunities for more abundance. Either way, your next line action is to identify and start sharing the wisdom that you've learned. Now, this card over here, really important guidance coming through for you. With our crystal grid card, this is focus, create with intent. If you it's this catch-22, right? Where you're watching this video because you're like, yeah, what's my next aligned action to make the money? How do I manifest the money? The universe is saying, you're going to do it by examining the wisdom you have and then sharing the real nuggets of it with others wherever you are right now and finding ways to share it that feel good to you. But if your intent is, I'm going to share this to make some money, and you're just all in it for the money and you're sharing purely because you want to make some money, the money's not going to come in. Because people can smell that a mile away. So it's almost like the universe, and this is why I was saying you have to be excited or feel good about sharing it. You have to want to talk about whatever this wisdom is. Again, I'm getting the guidance that if you don't know what that wisdom is, or you know it is and you're like, I don't want to share it, look at other wisdom you have. The universe is saying, these universe's words, not mine, I guarantee you have so much wisdom within you that can create a huge impact on the world, on others around you, that will lead to you naturally just being compensated, money flying at you. But it has to be with other people's best intent at heart. So you have to truly want to help people, right, with it, or you have to truly see the value. It's okay to want to make money. Let's be clear. It's okay to do something and hope that it leads to more abundance, or to do it because you're like, I know this is the next right thing to get me closer to the abundance that I desire, but there also very much has to be this primary intent and focus of actually helping people with your wisdom. And I think most people who watch these videos are very good people, are heart center people. Those are the people I tend to attract the most of, because that's the energy I'm putting out, that I want to attract and help good-hearted people master the art of manifesting more money. Because when more good-hearted people have mastered the art of manifesting money, our whole paradigm in society around money shifts, which we need in a very positive way. And we all benefit. But the universe is asking me to say this, so I'm going to say it. But just know that I don't think that you are a bad person. But the universe is saying it's really easy to get caught up in just sharing this wisdom to try to make the money and just chasing the money. And that doesn't, again, this doesn't make you a bad person if that's where you've been or where you are going to get caught up in a little bit. But the universe is saying, just remember that when you do everything with love, when you do it to help others, then you do it with that intent, and you share something that you share wisdom you have that you truly enjoy sharing, that it's easy for you to talk about, that you like talking about and sharing in whatever way you've chosen to share it. When you do that, the money's going to naturally follow. You're going to naturally have opportunities. You're going to have people reaching out to you. You're going to have people donating money to you. Of course, make it easy for people to pay you, right? Offer services, or, if your boss says, oh, wow, we'd love to get you to talk more about this to our teams and maybe do some work with me, we'd be like, great. Is there an option for me to, have some sort of a bonus or some sort of a pay raise for that, or a new job title? You have to advocate for yourself. But when you're actually sharing the wisdom, right? And the universe is also saying, if you open up a PayPal or a podcast or a YouTube channel or a newsletter, have a PayPal button where people can donate, or a way they can buy from you. Allow the money to come in. But the focus when you're actually sharing the wisdom needs to be on helping others with wisdom. So how does that wisdom help other people? If it helped you, it'll help other people. Okay, Duck 2, if it helped you, it'll 100% help other people. There's no question about that. It won't help everyone, because not everyone needs the same advice and the same guidance and the same wisdom, but it'll help a lot of people out there. It'll help a lot of people. So don't doubt that, and don't get caught up in chasing the money. The money will happen. You can be strategic and look for ways to invite the money in through this sharing of wisdom. But the aligned action is for you to be getting clear on what wisdom is there for you to share that you feel like the world needs to hear, that people would benefit from. What's that deeper wisdom from your most expansive time of growth in your life? And how can you share it? Make sure it feels good. It's something you want to talk about, that you're passionate about, or that you enjoy talking about, that it lights you up. It feels good. It feels nourishing to talk about. And start sharing that wisdom. How can you start sharing it more wherever you are right now? Start sharing it. That's the next line of action. Start sharing your wisdom. And do it with the intent to help people. Do it with the intent to help people. Don't do it for the money. You can allow it to make you money. But when you do it to make the money, you're gonna water down the potency of the message, because you're gonna start to think about, what do people want to hear? What can I say that will make them want to pay me, or want to give me a raise, or want to work with me, or want to hire me, or whatever it is. If the intent is purely to help, but you also have those strong boundaries of, but I'm also gonna ask for the sale. I'm gonna ask for the money if the opportunity arises, but I'm gonna share. While I'm sharing, it's with that intent truly to help, and I'm not holding back. it's going to create so much more abundance in your life. And it's going to just be like, I'm getting an overflow, a waterfall of money coming in. Okay. Other cards for you, my loves. We have the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. What did I say about past lives? What did I say about past lives, deck 2? Again, if this resonates with you, right? I don't get the sense that this will resonate with everyone watching this reading, but if it resonates with you, to tune into some of your past lives and also just feel like, what's some of the wisdom that you came to this life with? Right? Like, what's wisdom you have that you've always had that you don't even know where it came from, but maybe you've always just been really good at communication. That's something for me. I've always been really good at communicating, like communicating my feelings, communicating the value of something, communicating what I see in my inner world. Like I'm just very good at communicating things, right? So this is just an example. You will have your own unique gifts, but some of you might also be very good at communicating things. But what's something that you've just always had a gift or a knack for that you don't even know where that comes from? Own that a little bit more. That's also something you can be sharing to share wisdom from, right? Like you're saying you don't always have to know where your wisdom comes from, as long as you know you have some sort of wisdom and you can articulate that wisdom or share that wisdom in some way. You don't always have to know where it comes from. Sometimes we also in our lifetimes just pick up wisdom subconsciously that comes out of our mouth. And we're like, well, where did that come from? So the universe is also saying with this card, and some of my guides are stepping forward to really reinforce this message, which is really beautiful, which is that if there's any self-doubt as you start exploring, like, what were those most expansive times of my life, or what are the lessons or the wisdom I have that I just carry in my soul or that comes from past lives, the universe is saying whatever that wisdom is that you want to share with people and that you're called to share with people and with the world or with others, if you doubt it, the universe wants you to remember this card in this point of the reading, which is that you have been training for this for lifetimes. You've been training to share this wisdom. Wow, you've been trained to share this wisdom for lifetimes, deck 2. I'm getting chills. I'm getting this, oh my God, like again, a waterfall of emotion coming in as I'm saying this. I'm getting a little emotional. I don't cry a lot. I cry as a healthy release and when I need to or when it feels right, but I don't cry a lot. I'm not a big crier. And I have tears in my eyes because of, it's like this is what your aligned action is. This sharing of your wisdom. This is a big point for you. It's not going to feel like a big deal to you, which is great, because when things feel like a big deal to us, we tend to self-sabotage, right? We tend to overthink it. So this isn't something that's going to feel like a big deal to you. Like it might just be you starting to talk at the water cooler at work or in the group chat of your coworkers or your friends. Or it might just be, like kind of starting, like to send a newsletter email each week to your email list or whatever it is. It's like, it's not going to feel like a huge deal to you to start sharing your wisdom, and it shouldn't, because it's something you've been training for lifetimes. And so it comes easily to you. It should, as you get into the groove of it and get comfortable with it. But this is actually quite a big deal on your soul's journey, is what I'm getting. And that's why I'm getting emotional. Like I'm feeling the universe. I'm feeling your spirit team, your guides. I don't tap into other people's guides a lot. All right. Like I feel like your guides are for you. They'll communicate with you the way you need to. My guides are here for me. I could get messages from them meant for you. Maybe they get them from your guides, right? Like, but I personally, in the way I practice and the way I channel these readings, is I don't tap into your guides, right? I think that's your relationship with them to tap into. I don't tap into them for you. I don't like when people say, I have a message from your guides. I'm like, no, I have the message from my guides, right? But in this rare case, I'm getting an energy wave. I'm like getting this wave of energy from your guides, and it's gratitude for you, deck 2. It's gratitude for you of everything you've learned and what you're about to share, right? They're not giving me guidance to share with you. Again, that's you have your connection with them. If you want that, you can check in with them about that. But I can sense their energy. I can sense whoever picked deck 2. I can sense the common theme with all of your spirit teams and the energy they're holding for you at this idea of you starting to more share your wisdom or more fully share your wisdom. It's immense gratitude and celebration of you. They're so excited. They're so excited for you to share whatever wisdom you feel called to share, because your soul's been training for this, preparing for this. It's been collecting this wisdom, these different lessons you're going to share with others, you've been collecting this for a long time. Not just this lifetime, but also this lifetime, but like a long time. I'm getting like eons. Maybe it wasn't the only thing your soul's up to, but this has been something that your soul's been doing, and now you're going to finally start sharing it. Some of you also could be an oracle, like me. You could be someone who channels, someone who shares guidance in this way. It doesn't have to be, but some of you are, right? Oh my gosh, pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Oh my God. You guys, I had picked that card like 5 minutes ago and was holding it, not looking at it in my hand, talking to you, and I just said, if you are someone, this is very, so this won't be everyone watching this. I will tell you what this means if this doesn't, what I'm about to say doesn't resonate with you. If this resonates with you, right? Take it or leave it. If you've been thinking about doing some sort of channeling work, some sort of reading cards, channeling in other ways. I used to channel when I look at human design charts because I used to do tons of human design. That was what my business was based around for a long time. I didn't realize for a long time I was channeling when I was looking at human design charts, right? Like there's so many ways you can channel. I channel through my writing, but if you are someone who channels in any way, who has downloads and messages to share those messages. Do that thing. This is the sign to start the readings, start offering readings, start sharing your channeled writings, start a YouTube channel or you're channeling things, start a podcast, start an email list, whatever it is, or start just, and you don't have to say you're channeling, but you can, right? But you don't have to. But if that resonates for you, the universe is giving a very clear sign, like that's the way you're going to share your message. So that's really beautiful. If that doesn't resonate with you, if that's not, that's okay. It's just further confirmation of like, in terms of the way you're going to share your guidance, in terms of the way you're going to share the wisdom you have to share with others, it's going to come from, it's going to be in whatever way excites you most and whichever way feels best, whichever way raises your vibration, right? Like keep in mind, this goes for everyone watching this. Everyone who's here on deck 2, as you share your wisdom, it should be something that excites you. It should be with the intent to help people. It should feel good to you. It should give you life. If it's not giving you life in the way you share it, if it doesn't feel good to you, if it doesn't light you up or nourish you, if it drains you, then fine tune what wisdom you're sharing or the way you're sharing it, because it should feel good to you. It should feel aligned to you. All right. I cannot make this up. The storyteller card from our Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. I'm not even going to pull any more from that deck because that is all we need to hear for that one. The storyteller card is like, in some ways it's telling the story you want to hear to yourself, of, how do you want your money story to go? But it's also, in this case, it's very literally taken, which is the more you share, it can be sharing your story or the wisdom you've learned in your life and lives. The more you tell that story, you share the wisdom, like speak. I'm getting so much of speaking from you. Again, it could be writing. Any form of communication or any form of sharing your wisdom is valid and goes here for this aligned action for you. And yours is saying now it's time to get serious about really sharing that wisdom with people. Tell your story. Tell the wisdom you've learned from your journeys, your story. Share the pieces of your story that will help others. It doesn't necessarily, it could mean like write an autobiography if that's something you've been thinking of doing. But it also could just mean like extract the pieces of your story that you know are going to help others, that you want to share with others. You don't have to share everything, but extract the pieces. Also, literally storytelling is a way that you can help people. So it might be telling stories of your life. It could be kind of a vlog situation. Like there's so many different ways this can manifest, but that's like, this is that sign. It's like, start telling your story. Wow, just spot on. I want to grab a couple tarot cards for you. Just to get a little clarity on, once you start storytelling, once you start sharing your wisdom in whatever way that feels good to you, that helps you help others, that nourishes you. Once you start sharing your wisdom, I want to get some cards on timing here. How fast can you expect the money or the results to start to come in from that? What does that look like for you? All right, so here we have the Hanged Man. And I also want to see another card for you. Oh my gosh. I might have to pull some more cards, but we have some major arcana cards here for you. This is impressive. Your soul is here to do big things, deck 2. You are here to do big, big, big things. Even if you are like, I don't want fame, I don't want big fortune, I just want to work my corporate job, or I just want to have enough to get by, or whatever. It's like, but the impact you're going to have, even if you never become famous, which some of you will, or are already famous or becoming famous, whatever impact you have through sharing your wisdom, oh my gosh, deck 2, it's going to have ripple effects that you won't even see in your lifetime. Like, they will outlive you, which is just amazing. Like, you're going to touch so many people directly and indirectly, right? It might be that you say something that helps one person, and then that person goes on to help 20 people, and those people go on to help varying degrees of people, but then all of a sudden you've helped thousands or millions of people even beyond your lifetime. Like, what you're going to achieve by sharing your wisdom is insane. Okay, so let's just put that there. Now, when we're talking about, I pulled these cards for timing, right? We have the moon reverse, we have the hanged man. So this is the thing. The abundance, the money can come in very quickly. Okay, as soon as you truly start sharing the wisdom you're meant to share, that you feel called to share, that feels good to share, with the intent to help people in a way that also helps you and helps you feel fulfilled, or just feels good to you in whatever way, helps you grow maybe. Once you start doing that, the money can come in pretty immediately for you, which is really exciting, right? Money can come in pretty immediately. However, if you are watering down what you truly want to say, if you are holding back because of fear of what people are going to think, or this fear of being misunderstood, if you are holding back at all, the money won't come. So it's like you gotta go all in. But the universe is saying, you've been preparing for this for lifetimes, you've been training for this. It doesn't have to feel hard. It could just be in the moment. Say what you really want to say. You can say it with tact. You can say it in a strategic way, in a way so that you don't just offend people if that's not what you're trying, if you're not trying to trigger them into awareness, right? Like, do it true to you, but don't hold back for fear of being misunderstood, right? Don't hold back. If you hold back, the money's not going to come in. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's an all or nothing situation. You might see some trickles of money. You might see a little bit of a pay raise or promotion, or a little bit of bump in your sales, or whatever it is. But if you actually want that big, beautiful amount of money to come in that you're dreaming of, that you'd love to have come in, it has to kind of be like, you got to go all in with this. The universe is also saying, especially with this moon card, is that the more, and I mean, that's honestly, these two work so well together, the more that you are surrendered to your truth, the more that you're surrendered to sharing what the truths you have found with others, so that they can get more clarity, get more empowerment, so that they can benefit in some way, the more that you are surrendered to sharing your truth, the more quickly and easily and effortlessly the money's going to come in. Okay, so this is your wisdom. You're meant to share your wisdom for the people who need it. Not everyone will need it. You won't be for everyone. That's okay. You are for a lot of people, though. Your wisdom will help so many people as long as you share your truth. You don't have to say, this is the absolute truth. This is going to help everyone. You don't need to make any promises you can't deliver on. You just say, hey, here's what I've learned. Here's my experience. Like, even it's just conversation at the water cooler with a coworker. If they're complaining about something and you have a direct experience in your life that helps them, that you think might help you, say, hey, would you like to hear my experience of it? Maybe it'll help you. And then you just share truthfully and honestly without worrying what they're going to take from it or not. And you go, yeah, well, so hopefully, I don't know, maybe that helps you. If not, no worries. And then they'll go, okay, great. Chances are, the more you do that, the more it's going to help people. Or you could do it on a bigger scale, more intentional scale, a strategic scale, with a podcast, writing a book, whatever it is. Sharing it with your bosses, right? But like, this can be little things you do throughout your day. And as you do this, all these opportunities open up, all the money starts to pour in. But it has to be, you have to be truly surrendered to sharing your truth, your wisdom, what you've learned. Okay? I cannot tell you how aligned all of these cards are wow, this is some of the most aligned card pulling. Like, it's all aligned, but this is the one it's like, for the last several videos I've done, this is the one pile that is like, really, in my mind, hitting you over the head with the message. It is so incredibly clear. I am so excited for you deck 2. And if you need that support in surrendering to your truth, in sharing honestly and openly, and examining and finding the wisdom you have, come join me in the Wealth Vibe membership, because we do so much in there and have such a community in there that where you can also share some of the wisdom you've had if it's with that pure intent to help others, but also just where you can hone those skills, where we can make sure you're diving into being confident in sharing your full message, right? Like, so much of what we do in there builds that empowerment so that you understand the power of your ability to create your reality, and then focus that outward and take action that allows you to actually translate that inner power you have into abundance in your life. That's what I do in all of my work. It's 100% what we do with all of our different modalities and things inside the Wealth Vibe membership. So if you want to come join me there, that link is below. But this is such a beautiful reading, deck 2. Last parting word is don't be afraid of your own light. That keeps coming through for you, and I want to share that with you. Don't be afraid of your own light. You have so much light to share, and you may think at times that you are afraid of darkness, that you're afraid of failure, that you're afraid of people judging you. What some parts of you might be the most afraid of is actually your light, of how powerful you are, how impressive you are, how truly wise and abundant you are in wisdom. You will, when you lean into this, you will shock yourself, deck 2, of what you're capable of creating and the impact you're capable of having, and the abundance that comes in. You will shock yourself. I'm so excited for you, deck 2. This is amazing. Just don't be afraid of your own light. It's light. It's good. It's here to help people. You're here to help people. You're going to do great things. Okay, deck 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you took from it and how it resonated. I always love getting to hear your thoughts on these readings. They really give me that inspiration and that motivation to keep going, to know that this is making that impact that I want to make, that I'm helping you, like I said, empower yourself to translate your inner power into outer abundance. So definitely comment below. I always appreciate, truly, those of you who comment, even if I can't respond to all of them. I do read pretty much almost all the comments that I can get to. So comment below if you want to connect a little bit. You are also welcome, if you're not already, to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance. If you want to come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to all the resources, support, and community you need to take these aligned actions and manifest the wealth you desire, I'd love to get to connect with you in there. The link for that and the link to pre-order the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are both in the description below. With all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and impact and shining your light and your truth. Oh my gosh, deck 2, so many good things for you. I'm wishing that all for you very soon, and I'll see you in another video in the very near future. Bye. Hello, deck number 3. We're going to dive right in just a minute to your reading to uncover what guidance the universe has to help you figure out your next aligned action, that next step for manifesting more money. We're going to be looking at what that aligned action might be for you, give you some guidance around that, as well as possibly what you need to do to prepare in order to take that action, or sort of timing around it. So whatever comes up, I'm really excited because the first 2 readings of this have been so tuned in. I'm feeling extra connected today to my guides and my collective that I channel from primarily. So I'm excited. So we'll move your crystal out of the way and let's start shuffling to see what is deck 3's aligned action. What's the next aligned action for deck 3 to take to make more money, to manifest more wealth into their life? What is that aligned action? Ooh, deep replenishment. Let's get some more cards to get some clarity on that for you. We have leap. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it. Starseed Lilies. Ooh. Oh, so powerful. Okay. All right, my deck 3. Your guidance is very different. All these decks are very different guidance in each of the readings this time around. But the universe for you is saying, and it's not saying no action is the action, but it is saying very much what this card tells us, this deep replenishment, which is to rest, restore yourself, nurture yourself. The universe is saying there's going to be a time for you to leap, right? There's going to be a time for you to leap. And actually how you're going to leap, it's going to start from building a solid foundation of, I'm getting a lot of self-care, a lot of healing potentially, a lot of, not even tons of healing, but just kind of like healing little minor things, right? So the universe is saying that ultimately, like I'll just say it plain and simple, your next line action to bring more abundance into your life is to rest. That's it. This doesn't mean you don't do any work. It doesn't mean you don't do anything or take any actions. It just means that there's a little bit more stillness for you in your life. That's what's coming up. A little bit more stillness, a little bit more finding rest. Even if you're busy and running around, how can you find rest in all the things you're doing? Also making space. Really, the universe is saying create a habit of resting, right? Creating a habit, a practice of resting, even if it's 15 minutes a day, to just kind of lay on the couch and do some deep breathing and listen to some really soothing music. Maybe it's getting a little bit of extra sleep at night, right? Whatever you need on a physical and mental and spiritual level to rest just a little bit more, right? That's the aligned action. Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive to manifesting money, right? But it's really not. And for you specifically, Deck 3, why it's so important for you to rest is that by resting, you're going to create a really strong foundation from which you can leap from. I'm getting that in the past. You've maybe moved and maybe are still moving very, very quickly and trying to make what you want manifest and happen. And that's great. A lot of people get stuck in inaction. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying here. Like, the fact that you are willing to take action and that in the past you've worked really hard, that's fantastic. It means you've got what it takes to actually take the physical actions to create your reality, to shape your life, to take the reins of your life in your hands. But that's not the only component or only way to go about making money. The universe is saying you're entering into the season of rest, the season of, honestly, effortless receiving, which is really exciting. So there's a lot of messages coming through for you. Ultimately, the next line action for you is to create some sort of habit, some sort of routine where you are regularly, ideally daily, if not at least once a week, prioritizing really deep rest. Could be going to like a yin yoga class. It could be doing some of that at home yourself. It could be deep meditation that's really replenishing and healing. It could be just more sleep, right? But like having a little bit more stillness, a little bit more calmness. I feel like I kind of have to change my cadence a little bit, right? To kind of get you to slow down, relax, right? Again, doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you're doing, working, moving quickly, taking actions and making things happen in the physical reality, but it just means that there needs to be a little bit more of the energy needs to just come down a little bit, not in terms of high vibration, but just in pacing, right? So the universe is saying, as you start to rest, as you start to create this habit around slowing down, taking time, taking your time, right? Self-care, giving to yourself, nourishment. As you start to do that, you're going to naturally start to move differently in the actions you are taking in your work, in your business, in your way you manage your money. You're going to start to act differently, probably at a slightly slower pace, but it's going to open you up to more opportunities. And the fact that you're acting differently is going to create different results in your life. So the universe is saying, you're very good at moving fast, Deck 3. You're very good at moving fast when you want to and when you feel like you need to. The universe is saying just a little bit more slowness, especially just internally, a little bit more rest internally. So this doesn't have to take away from the work you're doing, the work you're passionate about, the work that's bringing in money. It's going to amplify that, in fact. It's going to, by slowing down, you're going to be able to move faster because you're going to have more energy, even if it's just taking an extra 30 minutes a day to get a nap in, or 30 minutes to meditate, or just to take some time for yourself to take a bubble bath, to just breathe deeply, do some breath work, do some yoga, whatever it is. It's like doing that daily, routinely, stacking it on itself. This word has come up in every reading today, but in very different contexts. All the different piles are very different. But for you, the word exponential. But for you, it's as you stack rest upon rest upon rest, day upon day upon day, resting regularly, even for little bits of amount of time. It's going to create this exponential growth for you in your finances, in your abundance. Because like I said, you're going to move differently. You're going to have a much more stable foundation to jump from, to take big leaps from. You're going to also, you're going to just naturally, that's going to bring you more in alignment with the version of you who has the wealth you desire. That next level version of you is what we call it in my Wealth by Membership. We say NLS for next level self. But it's going to bring you into that alignment with the version of you who has the wealth you desire, that future version of you. And when you start embodying, acting like, internally and externally, the version of you who has the money you want to have, you start creating that wealth around you. That's embodiment work. That's manifestation. That's in a lot of ways law of attraction, law of assumption work. So as you do this, as you start to rest, have a solid foundation, have more energy to do more with, because you're prioritizing your energy and your internal state. As you're doing that, you're going to move differently. You're going to make more money, have more opportunities for money open up to you, or you're going to spot opportunities that you would have been moving too quickly to see. So it's going to allow you to take this bigger leap, but also you're going to open yourself up to receive more from the universe. You're going to actually start to see how supported you are and how much the universe is working to support you, because it's always been working to support you, especially around your finances or your career. But you've maybe just been moving too quickly to even take notice of it. Like you don't even have the brain space, the mental bandwidth to take note of how supported you are. And so then you keep moving even faster because you think you got to do it all yourself. You can't trust that the universe is going to deliver you the money. You're going to be so much more surrendered yet intentional and, like I said, amplified with your actions around money, around how you make money, your job, your work, your money management, the way you support your partner who makes money, whatever it is. It's like you're going to just all I'm seeing for you, really, it's so exciting, deck 3, is that it's just like the more you rest, the better version of yourself you're going to become. Like this is just, it's like an upgrade. It's an automatic upgrade. The more you start to rest, whatever rest looks like to you, you upgrade. But the universe is saying something really important here. When I say no matter, like as long as you rest, it's kind of guaranteed you're going to upgrade, you're going to become a better version of yourself that's going to generate more wealth. Here's the caveat. The universe is saying rest doesn't, it's not performative rest. Okay, so often we think that rest just means, oh, just take a 20-minute break or, oh, sleep in, right? But if those things don't actually fill your cup back up, deck 3, if those things do not give you more life, do not give you more life force, more energy, they don't energize you, they don't make you feel different and more grounded and more expansive and more energized internally, then those things are not true rest. They're distractions, they're numbing out, they're coping mechanisms. The universe is saying it's time for you to embody true rest. Because when you think about it, the version of you who has all the wealth you desire, they're trying to become, if you want to act as if the wealthiest version of you, I'm guessing for most of you, is not going to be running around, driving themselves in the ground, burning out in an attempt to make money happen. They're going to be sitting back. They're going to be taking action when it feels good to, when it's aligned to. They're going to be taking very potent action. They're going to be, of course, moving toward their desires and their goals and making big moves. But they're going to be doing it with the confidence that they know the universe is going to catch you, that they know the money is coming because the money's already coming in. It's going to be with this very intentional, potent energy is what I keep getting. That's very confident. That doesn't come from half-assing your rest and just phoning it in with your actual self-care and nourishment practices. So, before we even get to this card, the question for you is, what type of rest actually feels restful to you? What type of rest actually fills my cup? That's the rest you need to be creating a habit around, even if it's just doing it for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, at one full day a week, whatever it is that works for you, but doing it regularly. Again, I'm getting ideally like pretty much daily for you, right? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to mean taking weeks off of work and going on a vacation. It means, how do you integrate deep rest, embodied rest that's like that next level version of you? How your next level version would rest and balance their energy ongoingly to keep crushing it and making more and more and more abundance come their way. How do you create a practice that allows you to do that, to feel that way, to create that deep rest? That allows you to not just stop physically working for a little bit, but also mentally stop working. This is something I talk about a lot when I talk about the receiving mode, which is something I have a playlist for that I will put above if you want to check that out. If you find that when you're relaxing in whatever practice you create, you are not able to mentally unplug because your mind's still going and still like working on your to-do list or trying to figure out that sales pitch or whatever it is, or running through your grocery list or whatever, and you can't actually be present and be fully relaxed and nourished in the moment with your restful practices. Definitely go check out the videos in the receiving mode practice and playlist that I have for you. I'll put that above right now in a card. But why that is so important is because, and I see this a lot, I've talked about this a lot inside the Wealth Vibe. We've done a whole challenge around it. Like there's meditations on it inside the Wealth Vibe if you want support in relaxing your way into abundance, right? That's something I do quite a bit. And we'll probably do future challenges around it too, but this is something I talk quite a bit about in there as well and have resources around. So you can check that out, the link below. But the reason it's so important to not just mentally relax, or not just physically relax, but also mentally relax, is because if you're mentally working, you're not actually relaxing, right? And what that does is it gives the universe no space to deliver new ideas to you, inspiration. You're depriving yourself of energy, right? And being able to restore your energy so you can then go further, faster, and take those more potent, powerful, intentional actions. It's like, in our society, it's so common. We're so busy. I get it. And there's so many things vying for our attention and so many things we need to do, especially if you're in a place where you're like, I got to make more money or I really want this money. We think it's all about doing, but at least half of the equation, if not more, is about receiving nourishment from ourselves, receiving energy so that we can go take the actions, receiving opportunities for abundance that we're otherwise moving too quickly to let in from the universe. So much for you of the abundance you want, deck 3, lies in you creating a sustainable habit that feels good to you, that fills your cup, that allows you to rest. And the universe is also saying, if you start a habit, like maybe it's a meditation practice or a yoga practice or something like that, or just a daily little nap or something like that, and you start a practice, and after a while, it like works for a while, and then it doesn't really work anymore to help you relax, then start a different practice, start a different activity that helps you rest. Because in doing that, like sometimes we do something that helps us for a bit, but then we calibrate to it. And we need something more to help us get to the next level and the next level. So it's okay to shift your rest activities up, even maybe daily. Maybe there's something you do every other day, and then the days in the interim you're doing something else to rest, right? So make it your own. Do whatever habit you need to do, or habits that help you fully rest. I could talk forever about this, but there's a lot of guidance coming through for you around it. As you rest, I said all these, so much opens up for you. But the most powerful and most exciting and most profitable thing that's going to arise is you're going to start to get even clearer on what truly lights you up. This is our Starseed card. What lights you up? You're going to get so clear on what truly lights you up in this lifetime and what you truly want to do that I wouldn't be surprised if many of you watching this, I'm getting like 6 months down the road from now, maybe later. We'll get to that later when we look more at timing. But I'm getting that a lot of you, if you start doing this rest practice, you're going to 6 months from now, 12 months from now, be doing something completely different in your job. Maybe you've started a business, maybe you've pivoted in your business, maybe you've switched careers, you're working for a new company. Like, you're going to start to get so much clearer as you make space to listen to yourself as to what truly lights you up. And the big secret, my loves, about how you make money with ease, how you manifest money with ease, is by following what lights you up. The hard thing with it is so many people don't see how the dots connect between what lights you up and what you, and in money. This is one of my gifts. I can see any way to make almost anything profitable. A million ways to make almost anything profitable, because that's one of my gifts. This is why I did business coaching for a long time. But the reason you want to make sure you know what lights you up and why it's going to be so powerful for you to discover something new that lights you up, or have more clarity on it, or have new ideas of how to monetize it, is because when you're doing what lights you up, and you're doing it from a very nourished and balanced and energized place, you're unstoppable. Because you can sustain it. So many people build short-term success in our world today, and they can't sustain it because the way they had to do it burned them out, or they did something that they kind of liked, but they didn't truly light them up, and then they just didn't want to keep doing it, and they fizzled out, or they self-sabotaged, so they didn't have to do it anymore. So, especially I'm getting that if you haven't had consistent financial success or consistent financial growth in the direction you want at the pace you want, deck 3, it's because there's not enough of this truly nourishing rest, which is going to allow you to understand what truly lights you up so that you can build, honestly, like an empire around it. Whole worlds are going to be laid at your feet when you truly understand what lights you up and have the energy to act on it. Deck 3. Wow. That's really cool. I want to get some more cards for you, see if there's anything you need to do to otherwise prepare. I can't make this up, you guys. We have our Sacred Stillness card. Sacred Stillness in the Wealthy Women Oracle deck. There's only a couple cards in here out of this 44 card deck. This is the deck I created, so I know every single card in this deck very well. There's only a couple cards in here that are actually about slowing down, stopping, receiving, maybe 4 at most. at most. And they're not all about this. This is literally sacred stillness. Be still. Be still. A meditation practice. Stilling your mind, again, is something that I'm really seeing a lot here for you. Needing to really master that. I get the sense, like I said, that you're very good at going very quickly at things. Maybe you even already have some sort of meditation or stillness practice, but are you truly going all in with it? That's the question for you. Are you truly going all in with it, or are you just kind of performatively doing it? Are you just doing it and going through the motions and kind of getting some benefits, but not the full benefits you could be getting from your restful practices? That's where you get to tighten things up. If you're not already doing something that's restful, this is just that double confirmation. Again, I keep getting meditation or yin yoga. I don't even do that much yin yoga. I've done a few classes in my lifetime. But for you, Deck 3, that's something to really look at. That could really help you truly get into that relaxed state. There's so many other things too. You could do breath work. You could do hypnosis. You could do, like, there's so many things, right? There's a million ways you can relax. But it's for you, I'm getting, even just that kind of like bringing intentional stillness to your body, and then bringing from there, once your body's intentionally still or very intentionally moving in a very calm, nourishing way, then moving on to bringing the stillness into your mind. That's the guidance I'm getting for you with that. So that's really cool. Some kind of specific guidance. So that's kind of guidance of what you can do to truly relax more. And then as you do that, like I said whole worlds would be laid at your feet here, right? Like cosmic celebration. Cosmic celebration. How can you get, like, the universe is going to celebrate with you. The universe is going to celebrate and give you everything it is you desire. Like, it's just going to lay it all out at your feet. Really, this is really beautiful guidance, if not a little bit of tough love for you, Deck 3. The universe is very clearly saying to communicate to you that you are the only thing holding yourself back from the wealth you desire. That's it. You might think and have all these excuses and stories built up in your head that what you want, you're not meant for what you want, you're not good enough, society's against you, blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, the ills of society are a very real thing, right? But the truth is, you have so much more power than you give yourself credit for. Power to create your reality, right? You have so much more power than you give yourself credit for. So, the universe is saying, make sure that you are giving yourself that credit, that you understand how powerful you are. You are so powerful, in fact, that you can just hold yourself back from whatever you want, that you can keep working and exerting your power and taking action over and over and over, and never slow down enough to actually let the abundance in. I'm getting that you've also created, the reason whole worlds are going to be laid down at your feet, right? When I say whole worlds, I mean like entire lifetimes, timelines become available to you that you can just step into, and things can just happen in these most miraculous ways. Money, success, wealth, all of that can just pour in these insanely unpredictable and miraculous ways in very short amounts of time for you, Deck 3. That's something that you're capable of creating. The reason that those things will happen is because I'm getting that you've created, like with how much work you've done, you've created this almost kind of like backlog of wealth that's just trying to get in and you're not letting it in. And it's going to be so easy for you to access when you actually start doing what you love to do. I'm getting also that you've built up a very big network of people who love you, support you, and that when you finally start truly doing what you love to do, or doing it in a more deep and true and intentional and energized and potent way, there's going to be all these people who come and just support you, and it's going to surprise you who those people are. But they've just been waiting for you to finally just own what you want to do, own what you're going for, own all of who you are, and just do that in this most centered, grounded, nourished, energized way. Really, really powerful. And again, the universe is just like, there's going to be so much to celebrate when you start doing this. This just, again, tells me the abundance can come in quickly, and the universe is on your side with it. The universe is cheering you on, waiting for you to take this action so it can deliver to you everything you desire. We have the Green Man and Moss Agate Ritual and Ceremony. This card comes up a lot when I pull for you on this channel from this deck, and I love it because I never pull it for myself. But this for you guys is all about, like I said, as the universe is going to celebrate you, you're going to unlock new gifts, new wisdom. Like, it's just going to be this, again, exponential growth. There is a new spirit guide that's wanting to come through to help you on this at this time in your life as you enter into rest. So ask the universe or ask your spirit team, if you do work with your spirit team or your guides or God, ask for that support, ask for that connection, ask to be shown how you're supported in your rest. If you struggle to rest or feel like you have no time for rest, even 5 minutes a day, ask the universe for guidance and support to help you find the time, to show you where it can exist, where it already is, to help you tap into it. Okay? So there's a lot of support, universal support for you in all of your cards. You are so supported. You are so guided by the universe. You just have to let yourself be supported. How can you let other people, but especially the universe, God, source, your angels, your guides, your spirit team, how can you let the universe support you? Could it be just in proving to you that it's okay to relax, that it's safe to relax? Could it be by saying, okay, universe, I'm going to fully relax. Like Taylor said in the reading, I'm going to fully relax for 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, whatever it is for you. By doing this practice or these practices, I'm going to do it and I'm going to fully do it. And if I go all in with it and I fully rest and relax for a week, 2 weeks, I need a sign or I need some money to come in. I need something to show me that I'm on the right track. Do that. The universe is saying, great, make a bargain with me. You're supported. I'm here to support you. I'm here to ask to be shown the way. Ask to be shown that it's safe to relax. Ask to be shown is what I keep getting. But you then have to uphold your end of the bargain, right? You can't just say, oh, I'll relax, and then you keep kind of just meditating, but the whole time you're meditating, you're going through your mental to-do list for the day. That's not meditation. That's not restful, right? You have to truly go 100% in with your resting practices. Truly get into that receiving mode that I talked about. So that's available to you, but just know you have to hold up your end of the bargain, right? I'm going to grab some tarot cards for you. I want to get a little bit of guidance before we wrap up here on timing. I already had some of this, so we might just get some confirmation or other guidance that comes through, but I did already kind of have that strong nudge here of that as soon as you start truly resting, within 6 to 12 months, your life could be completely changed and transformed. But I want to know, once you do start resting fully, having a more restful practice or taking your current resting practices to a deeper level, what timeline can we expect for the money to start coming in, for it to start seeing the money arrive, right? And so we have right here, 2 of Swords. I want to get one more card for you, just to get clarity on our timing. We have our 3 of Pentacles reversed. I want to pull one more card. I think I know the guidance here, but yep, there it is. King of Cups. All right, that's all I needed to hear. Thank you, universe. Deck 3, when you start fully relaxing and you fully commit to this and you fully get aligned with it, you're going to very quickly, again, we have 2 and 3 here, 2 to 3 months. For some of you, it'll even be 2 to 3 weeks. If you're going fully in with making sure whatever rest you're doing is truly filling your cup. We got King of Cups. How much was I saying filling your cup when I was talking about the rest, the kind of rest you're doing and the quality of the rest? We have the King of Cups here. The highest card in that suit, literally. And the cups are all about fulfillment, especially emotional fulfillment. Some energetic fulfillment here as well, right? This is the perfect last card. I'm so glad I pulled that last card for you. As long as you are truly filling your cup with your resting practice and truly incorporating some level of rest most of the time into most of your days, truly resting and nourishing yourself and slowing down just so you can speed up. As long as you're fully going in with that, right? If you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not going to work, is what our 2 of Swords tells us, right? Not going to work. You have to, you have to truly go 100% in with those practices. And all I'm asking you to do is rest. It's not hard. It's hard in practice, not hard in theory. Not hard, not a big ask, right? But that's what me and the universe are asking you to do. We're asking you to rest. I know that's hard to do when we're conditioned to not rest, especially if we're trying to make money. But you have to go all in with it. As long as you're going all in with it, then you're gonna have this total fulfillment. And within 2 to 3 months, even 2 to 3 weeks for some of you, you're going to start to see signs. You're going to start to see little opportunities for money pop up. You're going to start to maybe see little bits of money come in. Maybe you get a little bit of a raise. These little signs will start to come in. That's what I'm getting, 2 to 3 weeks, little signs coming in of fully resting, basically daily. Fully committing to it. 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to start to see these little signs. Within 2 to 3 months, if you're fully committed to it and you keep doing it, you're totally devoted, right, to that restful practice. Not only are you going to feel more fulfilled and energized and have that pool of energy to draw from, to take those aligned actions and those bigger leaps from, and make them more right, you're going to start to see bigger changes. You're going to start to see be like, whoa, okay, things are really gaining momentum. 6 months, what I was sharing earlier, is like your whole 6 to 12 months from there, your whole life can look different. But that's if you stick with it. This isn't something you do once. This is the universe is saying. It's like, oftentimes what's coming to mind is when people say, like the guidance I'm getting is when people say, like, if you want to be healthy, right, it's like, and you're dieting, it's like you have to look at your eating habits as a lifestyle and not a diet, right? Not like just a choice. It's the same thing like with your resting diet, your energetic diet that the universe is putting you on right here and asking you to go on. This isn't something you do for a couple months or a year. It's something you do the rest of your life, because you are a human. Your body and your mind and your soul need balance. They need rest, and there's so much beauty. Don't you want more rest, right? Like don't you want more nourishing rest that also is tied into and leads to abundance? Of course you do. So, and if you don't, then this reading isn't for you, right? Go pick a different pile. But truly, and again, I'm going to reiterate, it doesn't mean you don't ever do any work, you don't have seasons of hustle or things like that, but there's still throughout it this underpinning habit that keeps you balanced no matter what you're doing. That's what this reading is getting at for you. That is the next aligned action for you to take, Deck 3. If you don't do that, if you ignore that, the 2 to 3 weeks, the 2 to 3 months, the 6 to 12 months, none of that happens. That's no longer available, right? Like that money doesn't come in. It can come in anytime you decide to tune into this. But if you just, again, BS your resting practices, that money's not going to come in. Not in those short amounts of time. And the risk you have is this 3 of Pentacles being reversed, right? Disharmony, misalignment, working alone, feeling like you're unsupported by the universe, having your ego driving everything, working, burning yourself out, feeling in competition, feeling like it's a race against others, against yourself, against time, whatever it is. That's the risk you're running, right? And that's maybe where you are now, or have been kind of headed toward, that where the universe is trying to pull you back from, right? So just all good things to keep in mind, right? Like it comes down to your next line action. Start a nourishing, restful practice. Deck 3. That's your next line action. Go all in with it. Fully commit to it. 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, whatever it is for you. Fully commit. And the times when your ego says, it's not safe to do this, we have too much to do, you have too much to do that you can't afford not to do this. Doing this is going to help you move faster. It's going to help you move more intentionally. It's going to help you get more and more into alignment with what you're truly here to do, and that's going to open the biggest floodgates to abundance for you. And you're going to have the most fulfillment you possibly could. If you do not do that, none of that is possible, right? But it all comes down to rest. It all comes down to rest. To feeling good. That's it. Just feel good. For a few minutes a day. The universe says, please. And then everything you want, this is so cool to see that you have so much power, Deck 3. You are truly very powerful. You're a powerful creator of your reality. There's nothing blocking you other than your resistance to fully resting and nourishing. And again, and I'm getting this last little bit against for you. If you feel like you've been resting a lot and the money's still not coming in, look at the quality of rest again. Is it that you feel lazy? What stories do you have around rest? Am I lazy because I'm resting? That needs to shift. That's depleting your energy. That is not actually allowing you to recharge. You might be taking a bubble bath or taking naps or sleeping 9 hours a day, and then you wake up and you're like, I'm still exhausted, and it's because I'm lazy and I'm not doing anything, and I'm exhausted. I got to get more done. And it's like, yeah, maybe you take some action, but when you are resting, give yourself permission to fully rest and enjoy it and not make yourself wrong for it. Okay, so what's the quality if you're resting? And this is also just troubleshooting tips as you start to build this restful practice. If you're resting and it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel like you're getting more energy once you're done or shortly after you're done with your resting, or that long term it's not adding up, shift how you're resting. Look into shifting into the receiving mode more, mentally relaxing more, right? You can look at that receiving mode playlist I linked earlier if you're struggling with that. Or if none of those work, then look at what are the stories you're telling about rest? We have so many stories, especially when it comes to money, around how resting makes us lazy and all this. My favorite mantra that I'm going to leave you with as we wrap up here, that I've been using for years and years and has helped me generate multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in my business doing what I love, is resting is productive and profitable. Relaxing is productive and profitable. That's it's one of the mantras I've said the most, I've shared with my audience and my clients the most. As a projector in human design, it's one I needed to hear a lot. I had my own stories around if you want money, you can't rest. You have to just go till you get there. The moment I started truly embracing what is here for you, what the universe is giving you guidance around here for you, that's the moment that things really started to shift in my financial reality. So I do hope you truly lean into this. This is your permission slip. This is the next aligned action for you, deck 3, to relax. All right, deck 3, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below, letting me know what you took from this reading and how it resonated. I love getting to hear your thoughts on these readings. They truly, your comments really give me that motivation to keep going, to keep making these just, they give me life, right? This is some form of rest for me as well, right? Not my only form, not my primary form, but this is that thing that lights me up, that helps me to keep going, right? That gives me life. So you are also welcome, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance. If you want to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to all the resources, support, and community you need to take these aligned actions, get in the receiving mode even, and manifest the wealth you desire, I would love to get to connect with you there. The link for the Wealth Vibe membership and the link to pre-order your copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck is in the description below and in the pinned comment. With all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive rest, nourishment, and also prosperity and abundance, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.